The year was 1928. A biting wind howled through the jagged peaks of the Himalayas, cutting through the thin mountain air like a sharp blade. Professor Alistair Finch stood against the cold, clutching a worn parchment in his calloused hands. This fragile piece of paper was more than just old dit, was a lifeline, a whisper from a dying lama in a remote Tibetan monastery. It spoke of Shambhala, not as a mere legend, but as a real place, hidden deep within the mountains, guarded by forces beyond human understanding. Alistair was a man often dismissed by his peers at the Royal Geographical Society as a dreamer chasing shadows. But to him, Shambhala was a truth waiting to be uncovered. Years of studying ancient Buddhist texts, piecing together cryptic maps, and chasing whispered legends had led him here to the edge of the unknown. His expedition was small and fragile, funded by a modest inheritance and the hope of a few believers. Alongside him were three companions: Dr. Evelyn Reed, a sharp-minded botanist drawn by the promise of rare plants; Tenzin, a stoic Sherpa whose ancestors had walked these treacherous paths for generations; and Thomas Miller, a young journalist sent by a London newspaper, skeptical but eager to witness the impossible. Their journey was a relentless battle against nature. Avalanches thundered like distant storms, and the cold seeped into their bones. Supplies ran low, and hope flickered like a dying flame. Even Tenzin, usually unshakable, spoke in hushed tones of vengeful mountain spirits. Evelyn, her face pale and drawn, questioned Alistair's sanity. "Professor," she said one freezing morning, "this is madness. There is no city, here only endless rock and ice. We are chasing a ghost." But Alistair's eyes burned with a fierce determination. The parchment had led him this far, with its strange clues: constellations aligning with mountain peaks, a hidden glacial lake called the Tears of the Moon, and the song of the wind through petrified trees. On the 107th day, as a blizzard threatened to bury them alive, Tenzin pointed through the swirling snow. "Professor, look!" Through the storm, a soft, golden light shimmered in the distance. It was unlike anything they had ever seen, an ethereal glow that seemed to defy the harsh mountain cold. As they drew closer, the blizzard eased, revealing a hidden valley cradled by towering peaks. And there, nestled in the valley's heart, was a city. It was a vision from a dream. Crystal towers soared skyward, their surfaces catching the light and scattering it into dazzling colors. Pathways of polished obsidian wound through gardens bursting with vibrant, otherworldly plants flora unlike anything Evelyn had ever studied. The city was silent, save for a gentle hum that seemed to resonate deep within their bones, filling them with a profound peace. Thomas, the skeptic, fumbled with his camera, hands trembling. "It's impossible," he whispered, awe breaking through his disbelief. Alistair's eyes filled with tears. "Shambhala," he breathed, the name a sacred promise. As they approached a grand archway glowing with golden light, a figure appeared, a woman, ageless and radiant, draped in robes that shimmered with an inner glow. Her eyes held a wisdom that spanned millennia. Without words, a thought echoed in their minds. "Welcome, seekers. You have found the threshold." Evelyn, struggling to grasp what she saw, asked softly, Who are you?" The woman smiled gently. "We are the guardians, keepers of knowledge, and you, Alistair Finch, have been called." For weeks, the explorers lived among the wonders of Shambhala. The city was not built, but grown-shaped from pure energy and sustained by a deep understanding of the universe's laws. Its inhabitants were not born, but emerged from a collective consciousness, their purpose to protect ancient wisdom and guide humanity toward its higher potential. They communicated not with words, but through shared thoughts and emotions. If you're enjoying this story, Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories that bring history's greatest mysteries to life. Alistair was drawn into their teachings. He discovered libraries of glowing crystals holding histories older than Earth. Itself stories of civilizations on distant worlds, the secrets of the cosmos, and the true nature of consciousness. He learned of a time when humanity was deeply connected to its spiritual roots, before a great catastrophe plunged the world into darkness. Shambhala was a beacon, a sanctuary of lost knowledge, waiting for the right moment to guide humanity back to its true path. Evelyn, once skeptical, found herself captivated by the miraculous plants, some that healed with a touch, others that communicated through light. Thomas filled notebooks with vivid descriptions, though he knew no one would believe his story. Tenzin, ever silent, found a peace he had never known, meditating deeply in the city's calm. But peace was not to last. One evening, the ancient woman summoned Alistair. Her serene face was shadowed with worry. A great darkness was coming, a force of greed and destruction drawn by the city's power. They seek to exploit our knowledge for selfish gain. This is why we remain hidden. Alistair's heart raced. What shadow? Seekers of power from your own world. They have sensed the awakening on your planet and will come for Shambhala. Days later, the sky above the city tore open with the roar of propeller planes' German aircraft, marked with the insignia of a radical archaeological society obsessed with the occult. They had tracked Alistair's expedition, not to share credit, but to seize Shambhala's secrets. Panic gripped the group. Evelyn gasped. They followed us. They must have traced our radio signals. The Guardians, however, remained calm. The ancient woman turned to Alistair. You have a choice. Leave and carry the truth with you, or stay and help protect this sanctuary. Without hesitation, Alistair declared, I stay. Evelyn and Thomas, despite their fear, agreed. Even Tenzin nodded, prayer beads in hand. The attack was fierce. Machine guns rattled against the crystal towers, but the city's defenses held. The Guardians projected shimmering shields of energy that deflected bullets and sent waves of disorienting vibrations, forcing planes to crash in fiery explosions. But the attackers had ground forces led by Dr. Victor Thornia, ruthless archaeologist driven by obsession. His men breached the outer defenses, trampling the sacred paths, their shouts echoing through the valley. Alistair watched in horror as a crystal library began to crack under fire. The knowledge inside was irreplaceable. Then, the city itself responded. The golden light flared, blinding and intense. The Guardians, faces filled with sorrow, began to dissolve into pure energy. Mesmerized and terrified, the four watched as the city pulsed like a living being. The ancient woman's final thought reached Alistair. The time is not yet right. Shambhala must return to the Vale. Carry the truth, seeker. Remember. With a blinding flash, the city vanished. It did not fall or explode, simply disappeared, leaving the valley pristine and empty, as if it had never existed. The attackers reeled, disoriented, and defeated. Thorn stood in stunned silence, his prize lost. Alistair, Evelyn, Thomas, and Tenzin lay on the cold ground, forever changed. Thomas wrote his story, but no one believed him. Evelyn returned to her studies, haunted by the impossible plants she had seen. Tenzin became a silent sage, carrying the wisdom of the divine. Alistair spent his life trying to share the truth of Shambhala. Labeled a madman, he never wavered. He remembered the glowing crystals, the ageless guardians, and the hum that vibrated through his soul. He carried a secret too incredible for the world waiting for the day humanity was ready. Years passed, and the world plunged into war. Yet, in quiet corners of the earth, travelers whispered of a glowing city in the Himalayas, a beacon of hope for a lost world. The Lost City of Shambhala, myth or reality? For Alistair Finch, it was a promesa secret, guarded by the mountains, waiting for humanity's true song to rise again. And perhaps, even now, deep in those ancient peaks, the Guardians watch, waiting for the moment to return. If you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, be sure to subscribe and join us for more stories that bring history's mysteries to life. Until next time, keep seeking, keep wondering.